down the short side. Here he comes now. We know he's got plenty of toe. Walker, oh, he can't get around for now. He can't pop a pass up. And for now gets the ball. And now it's his turn. And he's away. Here goes for now. He's got plenty. Well, welcome back everybody for episode 2 of Ruck Off. You just saw some footage of some pre-season stuff with the junior gold sides. Of course, the Hunter Junior Gold had a team in it. The best of the juniors going around. Of course, the Colts competition leading into that. Andy Fairfield, General Manager, also known as Evan Handler from Californication and Sex and the City, is with us right now to explain what's going on with the Colts competition. Andy.
How are you, Gareth? Thanks for that intro again. Thank you for being episode 2 as well. I thought there might be some better talent being interviewed this week.
Well, you know, you're backed by popular demand. I think you got 2 tweets on Twitter, a couple of Facebook likes. You know, they're all calling for you, Andy. Well, I know they're calling for your head. Yeah, well, that's more like it. So we'll get into the Colts discussion. Look, Colts this year, age-restricted competition. Last year it was under 20s. This year it's under 19s. So far we've got 5 teams committed for in the Colts comp this year, and 2 of them are from Merewether Carlton. So it is less teams than last year, and the complexities of the 2 sides from Merewether Carlton, which will mean they'll have to play each other as well. The Colts comp does start this weekend with 2 fixtures. So Wanderers are playing Merewether Carlton 1 and Maitland are playing Merewether Carlton 2, and East, the side from Division, have the bye. Obviously the complexities are that you have less teams and the amount of teams in Premier, etc. So the draws end up being a lot different, which splits clubs' resources, which is an issue. However, with the reasons we've headed down that route, that country are moving to under-19s in terms of rep sides. The ARU is picking their under-20s World Cup sides the year earlier from the under-19 sides around Australia. So we're matching that. And also, more importantly, what I found out during last year, being my first year here, the Colts was under 20, but we allowed 4 under 21-year-old players in each side. And then we were senior consenting some older 16-year-olds and 7-year-olds. So in effect, it had a 5-year spread in an under-20s Colts competition, which actually means that if there was an incident, we were uninsured.
I guess what you didn't factor in though, Andy, is Newcastle, by tradition, isn't too keen on change. Take the train line, take the fig trees. Do you see this as a fig tree moment for Newcastle rugby?
Oh, look, I think obviously, you know, change is always an issue, whether you handle it well or whether you handle it badly. And I think on reflection, I think we didn't communicate as well as we could have, and maybe we haven't handled change as well as we could. We think the motivations and the reasons to head where we did are correct, but obviously communication and how you take people on those journeys can always be reflected on and done better. Going forward, if country at under-19s, Australia are looking at the under-19s and the year before to under-20s, under-19s, we feel is the way to go, particularly when you overlay that senior consenting issue and that insurance issue. However, if you look at where the sides are coming from, they're coming from juniors. And if you look at the under-17s and under-16s in juniors, they've got 5 and 6 teams. So to go from 5 and 6 teams in a juniors comp, then think they're going to suddenly hit a seniors age-restricted comp and go from 4, 5, 6 teams to suddenly 10 teams, you can see how it doesn't fit. And hence why we had 21-year-olds being allowed in there, and why we were senior consenting willy-nilly, which is actually against the guidance and the insurance. So I think the answer's right, but we're going to have to keep working with clubs through it.
Yeah, definitely. And I, for one, I definitely think that the under-20s, it was outdated. Under-19s fits in with ARU pathways and development outside of the Sydney Shoot Shield, I guess. It gives a clear pathway for juniors coming through, and I think it's going to be a very good thing for years to come for the NHRU. So I'll give you a tick on that one, Andy. Only just, but you get a little tick.
Well, Gareth, you and me alone, brother. You can come and fight the battle with me.
Jeez, I've got long arms. I'm happy to go into battle for you, mate. And anyway, we get back to last week. We had a couple of good games, a couple of big fixtures. I think you were out at the Maitland Southern Beaches game.
Look, that was we tipped it to be a close one, and it was very close. And yeah, great game to watch out there. So, and really enjoyed how close it was, and even though Southern Beaches have been through a difficult time and lost several players to Lake Macquarie with Tim Chidgey moving on, their first grade side looks competitive.
Yeah, definitely. And getting to Lake Macquarie, they were a little bit disappointing with some of those Southern Beaches. I know some of those guys came from Lake Macquarie as juniors as well, but they were disappointing against Hamilton.
Yeah, look, they were, obviously we talked about the size of their forward pack. The feedback that I've had is probably they need a few more weeks under their belt and probably a little bit shy on fitness. But certainly if you look at the scoreline, if that was being played last year, I would have thought it would have been another 40, 50 points on it. So Lake Macquarie have become a bit more competitive there, but Hamilton, the favourites to go back-to-back, showed their class.
Yes, definitely, and going all the way to the peninsula, the Groper Dome, Nelson Bay were impressive. They were in the lead at half-time. Merewether Carlton must have got a massive rev up by their coach, Stacey Sykes, and they came out and put 30 unanswered points on in the second half.
I heard Sykesy gave a ripper of a speech at half-time.
He might have disconnected our camera cord with such was the venom of his words, because it did...
Yeah, well, who did pull the power cord? You think it was him?
We're yet to find out. It might have been him.
It might have been.
You never know.
It might have been him.
We are looking for the culprit. If you do know the culprit, feel free to text us in at Bar TV.
I think from what the feedback I've got there from some of the P1 coaches I've spoken to this week is that Nelson Bay very competitive. And 10-point better side at home as well traditionally, so it'll be interesting to see how they travel, but tidy little start, and if they cut the game off 15-20 minutes early, they win.
Yeah, definitely, and heading up to Singleton, I guess the old coal train hasn't left the station yet up there for those guys, because they were trounced, I guess, by Wanderers. Unfortunate result, but I think the Singleton side will improve throughout the year.
Oh, I think they are better than last year. The feedback from the two Blues Wanderers boys, again, they loved the trip up there and really enjoyed the rugby camaraderie up there. So the results are, I suppose, somewhat predictable. Wanderers through all grades, but I do feel Singleton, have made a little bit of a step forward compared to last year.
Yeah, and getting to the match around Waratah at University, it was a bit of a stop-start affair out there. Wasn't too bad. There's a couple of good things for both sides. I think University, they deserved to win that game. Waratah were lucky. They have the more experienced side, but unfortunately they beat Uni for University's sake. Mark O'Brien, a little bit disappointed, and also Matthew Chidgey, he was disappointed in the way they played out there. It was very scrappy, very stop-start, but a couple of good things to come out for Uni. And we had a good chat with Mark O'Brien as well. We're going to hear what he had to say, just in regards to not so much the Specsavers ref. He was very, I guess, humble in his...
Did he ever go at the ref?
He did not have a go at a ref. He was very mature in his approach, and I think he's going to be a very good coach in years to come, Mark O'Brien. I'm rating him as a player and a coach out there. But I guess for me, viewing the game and commentating the game, I think the Specsavers ref got their prescription Stevie Wonder style. Because there was a couple of decisions there that could have gone the other way to Uni. I think the Waratahs players deserved a player in the bin. I'm going to say that right now. And Mark O'Brien, here's his very tempered approach after the game. Well, Mobby, unlucky here today, mate. A bit of execution and some referee decisions didn't go your way today.
Yeah, look, I think just our own errors. A lot of errors there, and I think we sort of in that first half. Those errors there sort of piggyback them into our half. And then, yeah, on your second point there, just an interpretation of the breakdown, I'd like to see that, and I'd like to understand that bit better, because, I felt like, there's 12 points on us today where I couldn't understand why they were going against us like that. So.
Yeah, definitely. You guys got a man down, got a player sent to the bin. Could have been a couple of times where the yellow card could have gone the other way too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But look, I'm not going to sit here and blame referees or anything like that. We've got to cop it. Everyone in the competition has to do that. We've just got to roll with the punches and do our best and try not to react to the situation, and just try and play our own game and score from there. Well, you did well out there to not to react yourself. You're being coached there, and did the safe call watermelon come out? Yeah, the watermelon call did come out. So a couple of boys there just gave a little sneaky call to me. So I've actually won $10 off Laurie Hogg too, because he bet me that I couldn't shut up. So I think that I did that today. So that'll buy me 2 schooners tonight. 2 schooners? I don't know where you're buying schooners. Well, actually, I think the boys are going to look after us back at SJ's at the Waratahs pub tonight. $4 schooners, they've said. So come on down if you want to have a couple of beers with the boys.
Beauty, thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Well, we saw there, yes, he did hold his tongue, and they were very unlucky, the University side. But getting to it now, we're going to get to our Rams low percentage play of the week, brought to you by Nigel Miller. We're all looking forward to it. There was massive moments. There was length of the field tries. There was everything. There was big hits. You name it. But the Rams low percentage play of the week, in honour of Nigel Miller, ladies and gentlemen, Willie So, one of the Bar TV favourites over the last couple of years. Check out this hit. So Handley gets it. Short ball. Oh, look at that hit by Willie So. We get through to this week's preview of the rounds. Our Bar TV match of the round is the Hamilton Hawks at home to Waratah in what I think should be a good encounter.
Yeah, look, I would suggest Hamilton would be a couple of weeks further into their program than the Waratahs from what I saw of that game last week. So I would expect Hamilton to walk away with the chocolates, but I would expect Waratah to stiffen up a little bit and be quite physical. But I think Hamilton will get the chocolates.
Yeah, well, Dane Sherratt last week, he was the difference in the game. I'm expecting big things of him this year. I think he's going to be leading point scorer
double up
for the Waratahs
double up
again.
points, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he kicks them from anywhere. He's integral. I know he's on the sites as well of the NRC program for the Country Eagles, I believe.
I understand that as well.
Tell me, and I think he would be a good asset. And if he has a good season here this year, that's where he'll be at the end of the year, Andy.
Definitely got a very good boot.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for the Hamilton Hawks, the player who stands out, I guess, is Steve Lamont. He has to be in there and he has to sort of be working around for them to really fire. They were a little bit dusty themselves last week as well.
They were. I watched the replay of that game. Stevie Lamont there, Newcastle rep captain by the way, was probably a bit targeted, to be honest. I think the Lake Macquarie boys went after him, but he
has got the best hair in the competition.
Mate, I wish I had hair. I can't talk about hair. But he was targeted a bit, stood up to it physically, and in the end, Hamilton ran away with that game, and that's their class.
And I think this week, their back three are going to be the difference. A little bit of inexperience with Riley not there for the Waratahs this year.
Big loss.
And I think Hamilton, they'll come away, I think, towards the back end by about 15 points.
Big loss, Riley. Good footballer.
Yeah, very good footballer. We had it back to the Groper Dome. Nelson Bay hosting Maitland out there. This should be a close match, Andy.
Another one of those that could have easily been match of the round. I think it's going to be a cracker. I really think it's going to be a cracker. Nelson Bay should have certainly taken confidence from their first 50, 60 minutes in that game against the Greens, and Maitland coming off their win.
Yeah, well, Maitland definitely, they look like a top 5 side this year. They showed it. They went out to a big lead early on last week. They have to really maintain the focus this week because Nelson Bay's a side that can attack from anywhere in the park. They play that ad-lib type of rugby, especially Hatini in the centres. He is a real strike weapon. I think he might be the difference in this match, and I'm going to tip Nelson Bay.
So, okay, yeah. No, I'm going Blacks.
Oh.
I'm going Blacks.
Blacks? Like your coffee.
I'm going Blacks.
Very good. Universe Beaches at University. University have got the Freshman's Day where everyone from Edwards Hall, all in International House, they all pick a buddy, so there's going to be a big crowd there.
Are we worried about their focus? What are they going to be focusing on?
Well, I know. The after party.
I know what I'd be focusing on.
I know when I was at uni, I didn't focus on anything. Hence why I'm here with you.
Did you fail subjects?
Lots of subjects.
Statistics?
Yes.
Yeah, so did I once.
That's why I'm no good at this tipping. the top better tipping comp. Anyway, I think University, Mark O'Brien will have them still. They made a few mistakes. They were rusty last week, and I think University's going to win this.
I'm going the other way. I'm going the focus will be on the after party, as you're saying, and I think the Beaches will come away with the chocolates.
Will you be at the after party old school style?
I don't get invited. Ever since the Colts decision, mate, I don't get invited to these things.
Yeah, very good. So, Singleton and Carlton, you'd have to think that Singleton are going to be up against it at home here?
Singleton will be up against it at home. Obviously, the bus trip down there, Sykesy, ex-Singleton himself. Carlton will walk away with that. The question will be how big the margin will be, and that depends whether they're on or not on the day.
Well, I think that's going to play, obviously, the top better fantasy competition.
Yes.
Because the Sykes factor will get Singleton up. They love playing against Stacey. They think Stacey should have coached at Singleton. He didn't. He moved to Newcastle, which is fair enough.
Did they think traitor?
I'm not going to go as far as saying traitor, but definitely maybe could have coached 1 year at Singleton. But anyway, he did.
Good footballer.
He's a very good footballer.
Good footballer.
One of the best sides, coming out of one of the best sides to ever come out in the NHRU. He's a very good coach. I think Merewether will win, but I think it's going to be under 20 points. You?
I think you're being optimistic. It'll be over 20 points. Are you suggesting there should be points on coaches that transfer?
Definitely not. I would not make such a suggestion, given that our only complaint last week, Andy, was about the player points.
Yes.
And you know what I say to that?
Yes.
Whoever complains can go and ruck off, get rucked, and go and ruck themselves. As far as I'm concerned, going to the last match, Wanderers travelling to Lake Macquarie. They don't like it out at the lake, the Wanderers. Could be a tough ask, but I think the Wanderers are going to win that. I think Cal McDonald, he really steers the ship around, and he's probably going to be one of the top players this year. Oh,
very good footballer, Cam McDonald. Last year at the rep campaign, he was almost our best player there. Remarkable. He's got married as well, so he's not in the rep side this year.
Well, that could change a man.
For the better.
Yes, for the better. What will you say, for better or worse?
Happily married? Yeah. Happily married?
Every day's a pleasure, Andy.
So Cam McDonald, very, very good footballer, came through in the finals last year for Wanderers as well. Missing him from the rep program this year due to the wedding and the honeymoon, etc. I think Wanderers will walk away with the win there. I do think Lake Macquarie will be better off for their run last week, and they certainly showed last week that they weren't going to give up. I think Lake Macquarie sides in the past may have leaked another 20, 30 points when Hamilton got ahead last week. So, it'll be a competitive game, but I think the two Blues will get away with it.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be an even competition. That's for sure this year. All top 5 spots open for grabs. So now we come to the top better tipper of the week. Hamish Austin, give yourself $200 into your top better account. Good work, and it's an exciting thing. It's a good thing by their partner, Top Better.
Yeah,
it's
so
going really well.
Over 100 people in it already.
Over 100 people in it, everybody getting involved. Of course, it's a free tournament. You have to pay any money, and it is a first for grassroots sport around the country. And we thank our broadcast partners, Top Better, for getting involved in that. Get on the link on Facebook and get on the link on the NHRU website, and we'll see who can collect the chocolates.
Great concept.
So now, we're going to end the show. Ruck off. Get rucked, everybody. I like the Angels. Am I ever going to see your face again? Andy, I don't think you'll be back for a couple of weeks. No way. Get rucked, ruck off.
Well, I hope so, because I didn't think I was going to be up here for the second week in a row. Last week it was overcast. This week it's sunny. My bald head's sunburnt. I've had enough. Let's bring in some far better guests than myself.
Well, to end your tenure here on Ruck Off, we're going to have a little old-fashioned boat race. See you next week in Ruck Off.
Bar TV Sports would like to thank Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au. And Cornelia's Crump, the Bar TV Sports beverage of choice. And Rams Loans for supporting the 2016 NHRU Premiership.